Felt like Scout was still trying to scale up while the game was falling apart around him in game number 1. Here we go, though, as the series continues. LGD once again going to be on the blue side of the map. Fun. Once again, given the on up towards the top side. We have the exact same matchup up there. Audi won it convincingly in game number 1, but it didn't matter in the grand scheme of the series.
Kind of going towards that and what the comps and teams want to do. EDG, I do expect Junja to make a lot of trips topside, but the name of the game for EDG is 2v2 mid. You have Gragas, the Aurelia. You want to set this up for success. Bot lane, you're just going to kind of leave on its island. It is somewhere you do always have an option to go because you do have engage from the Nautilus, but it is much more about your soul lanes early on if you're EDG.
EDG, got to get those solo lanes snowballing.
The Colonel is all over the place.
Yeah, he's undecided as of right now. But 53% for LGD. He seems to think it's going to be back and forth, though. That's his prediction as of right now. But across the board, relatively standard runes coming on through. Important to mention the Unsealed Spellbook for Ornn. It is relatively standard. You do see it often, but it's always important to put your eyes on because he can roll things like the Smite, things like the Ignite that can very much change the shape of a game. Yeah,
Ornn really having two options in terms of runes. The Unsealed Spellbook in lanes. You already know you're not going to lose. You just want to bring more utility for your team. Grasp of the Undying, where you really can start contesting those lanes and having more of a presence. And just talking about LGD as a whole, they truly are about this mid 2v2. You pick the Pantheon Elise. We've seen it many times before. Point-and-click stun coming out from the Pantheon, setting up the cocoon for Elise. And then we saw with game 1, transitioning that to bot lane. You brought Fun into this roster. He has a spellbook. You're not going to give much attention up towards the top side if you're LGD.
It's interesting as well to see, we mentioned before, EDG coming into each best of 3, they seem studied. They seem like they've got a plan and they're going to stick to it. Same thing can be said here. They've changed it up slightly for game number 2. They've changed their jungle, they've changed their mid. But 3 picks have stayed the same. They've kept the set, they've kept the Kai'Sa, they've kept the Nautilus in the bottom lane.
I'd say the interesting thing is that once again, both teams pick 2 similar comps that want to do the same thing, right? We have a kind of mid-jungle duo that want to try and jump on your AD carry in the back line. And then you have these kind of AD carries that just kind of want to kite around the fight, try and be safe, but with engaged supports next to them.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird setup. Obviously, Thresh can kind of fit both roles as well.
True.
Though, so.
With the Flay, with the Lantern, Thresh does provide a lot of utility. Nautilus does not.
Does not. Peanut once again going for this invade on towards the blue side here, but Junja had already got his blue buff this time, so not as many shenanigans. I don't know if you can dive this one, but Yuki's here. Teleport as well. 5-man play. Scout the only one that's not going to be a part of it. Mako gets a hook onto Yuki. Jumps back in for the stun. Mako ticking on down. Audi with a huge haymaker. This is all going wrong for LGD. The tower shots come on through. 2 for EDG.
Just what a confusing play coming out from LGD, trying to set up this dive when Junja is already here. Audi obviously has to teleport, and again, you're pretty much diving 5 men when you count the tower, and the tower is much stronger than you in the early game, so.
Yeah, I guess anticipating Yuki being able to just tank indefinitely, but, you know, there's a lot of CC there. You've got Mako, you've got Junja as well, who are going to be able to just stun up your whole squad.
And we saw how much damage the Haymaker did, too, hitting pretty much every member on the team right in the center with that true damage.
Peanut waiting for Mako. Mako smells that something's up. Gonna go for the dredge line. He might get caught out anyway, though.
Yeah.
Cocoon over the wall. He's surely gonna go down as Yuki capitalizes. And once again, Yuki getting an early kill.
Just confusing by Mako to even be there when we do see Junja going back. Scout, once again, also not heading back. But here, we see the replay. Not much to talk about. Just, again, you're diving 5v4. They have a lot of CC on the side of EDG. Great Haymaker and shield coming out from Audi, even if they are able to get Mako. But that Pantheon E does not hold up forever, and you come out ahead on the side of EDG. I guess evened out after Mako's mistake, but let's be honest, that shouldn't have happened.
Fun. Going to be aggressed upon once again. 2nd game in a row. This time, Junja not going to be quite as successful because there was no contest on the crab from the side of Fun. I say that, he does now walk down as Junja goes onto the crab. Brittle proc, knock up as well. Peanut flash cocoon. What a play coming out from the side of LGD, but they can't quite finish it off.
LGD just having numbers advantage. Pantheon being much stronger in this early mid lane matchup than the Irelia, he will always be able to move first. So would be nice to see if we can see EDG use their pressure. Audi will have push, try and threaten Yuki in the mid lane with Set roaming down, with Junja being there. But still, LGD coming out on top once again.
Yeah. EDG, obviously, not going to be the end of the world as they traded Flash for Flash there, ultimately. And then the Scuttle Crab does go the way of Peanut, but that's about all they get off the back of that play.
And we just saw really good play coming out from Audi, holding the lane towards his turret, which means FunFun's going to fall so far behind.
That's what we saw in game number 1 as well. He was 30 CS down at one point in the game, and they're already getting towards those numbers. Yuki aggressive on Vanguard's edge immediately. Stun follows up. There's a knock-up. A kill for Junjie. Peanut wanted to make something happen there, but knows he can't 2v1 this.
And we've seen both teams do what we expected. EDG, we talked about, it's all about the mid-jungle 2v2, and we expected them to create some pressure around topside. LGD, on the other hand, we said, hey, they want to be partnering up with this Pantheon, making moves bot. We've seen that. Hasn't worked out the way it's quite been supposed to, but it is nice to see both teams recognize their win conditions and trying their best to execute.
Trying to shut down the Pantheon as well in this mid lane. We know how much Pantheon can take over a game.
Look at that CS advantage in the top lane, though.
I know. Oh, it's rough. It is really rough. There is going to be a relatively large wave here.
That Audi should be able to try and zone him off of.
He can try, but Ornn is a big beefy boy, and he's willing to go for these trades. That's one thing about Ornn is, you know, you can take quite a lot of punishment without really worrying about it too much.
True, he also does have the Ignite on right now to kind of dissuade any aggression that Audi wants to bring on top of him, so FunFun just, once again, LGD, I'm sorry, throwing him up in the top lane. Probably didn't expect him to be the best laner inside of this new position, but just wanting to bring some more stability to their lineup, where Elias has really been struggling recently.
I have to say, these two teams going head-to-head is one of the most difficult ones as a commentator. LGD, EDG. Like, you say that 3 times really fast, it gets really difficult really quickly, especially during the team fights.
Kind of looking across the map right now. Ooh, actually, LGD once again wanted to go for a really...
Let's go. I love to watch it. I love to see this. Scout gets away from the knockup, cleanses the route as well. LGD not going to get much, and Killua could be in trouble here. Nice hook, though. Follow-up coming out from FunFun as well, and the rest of the squad will move over. It's Junjie who's in trouble now. Will be going down, and that's a nice kill for Kramer with a piercing arrow. They're going to be rewarded with a Rift Herald.
LGD playing so aggressively this game. Mid lane dives are not something we see too often, especially 5-man mid lane dives. But nice job from LGD's bot lane just roaming up. This was one of the things we really saw Chance struggling with, but...
another hook. Killua is on point this game. There's another kill for Kramer. Audi goes on in massive haymaker across the team, but they can't finish these kills off. Yuki walks away. Hope trying to do the damage. Red Bull finishes off the kill for Peanut. And Hope and Mako just back away with their tails between their legs. I say that, there's a hook. Killua will go down.
A bit disrespectful on the side of EDG, walking in when Junja was already dead. They don't have any vision of River, but great hook coming in from Killua.
Oh, what is this game? Now Junja going to be caught out. Nice knock-up from him, though. FunFun chasing for this one. Repel, but he can't get onto anyone. There's a kill for Hope. This is... I don't understand the plays, but I'm loving it.
It looks like FunFun completely overestimated how much damage an Ornn does. Maybe more used to those, you know, mid-lane burstier champions, but yeah, it's just not stopping.
I always expected this to be like kind of a slow, a bit undecisive game, but not at all.
Once again, EDG didn't have any vision. As we see on the minimap, Junja's not there. Great hook coming out from Killua, and then using his stopwatch. Just a ton of damage coming out from the side of LGD early on in this game when you do have the Pantheon and the Elise. We see Pantheon has a serrated Dirk, which lethality being much stronger early in the game as compared to Scout, who just does have that Cutlass, waiting to get that big Blade of the Rune King power spike.
And important to note, last game we saw Yuki being kind of the benefactor, as it were, of all of the early kills. This time, it's going to be Kramer on the side of LGD. He's got 3 kills for himself already, but a similar situation over on the side for EDG. It's going to be Hope that was picking up quite a lot of the gold from these skirmishes.
And talking about those bot laners, I really want to move it back to Killua like we were trying to talk about. We saw LGD trying to integrate Chance into this roster, but Killua was someone they brought over from Rogue Warriors. He spent 2 years with that organization, of course being on the team that ended up making top 4 with people like Flawless, Doinb, SMLZ. So bringing a veteran presence into this roster, we're really seeing it pay off on this Thresh pick. And we see right now 100% kill participation coming out from Killua.
And it's great to see as well because, you know, coming into the series, we were saying how Killua, so far this split, he's been playing a lot more of the defensive picks.
Not even this split, mostly in his career. We've actually only seen him twice this split. We did see him on the Tahm Kench 2 games, also bringing out the Bard. But another interesting thing that Killua has in his back pocket is that pocket pick Fiddlesticks. Clement says it's not something he wants to see, but I'm always ready for it.
I know Hysterics is a big fan of the old Fiddlesticks support. I'm ready to see it. Especially when the new one comes out.
Woohoo!
It's creepy. It's real creepy.
Right now we just see, like game 1, both teams playing around their pressure points. Junja going towards that bot side. We see Audi completely abusing FunFun, but FunFun does have the TP right now. LGD committing to the top side where their bot lane is so much stronger than EDG's.
Oh, the minion wave is the savior for Hope in the end, but that's a Chains of Corruption. Good cleanse to save the day there. That's a pretty big cooldown for the side of Hope. Needs to be careful on the CC.
Especially when you have so much CC, the Thresh, the Varus, the Elise. If you get locked down, we could always see that ultimate coming out from Yuki, joining in the fight, and pretty much just deleting Hope.
I love how so far this series, it's just been these like absolute brawls between the two teams that don't seem to be necessarily optimal, but you know what? One of the big criticisms I had for LGT was that, like, some of these names are big names. There's a lot of power on this roster. It didn't feel coordinated. These 5-man dive plays, hey, at least they're doing it together. At least they're practicing that coordination.
True, they're getting on the same page, which again can be a byproduct of Killua coming into the roster and kind of moving over to EDG. We came into this series hyping up Scout, saying Scout has been a very consistent presence in this team, but in this series, Scout hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah, I mean, Scout in game number 1, it felt like he didn't really have a chance to show up. The game ended so quickly. He was on the Azir. This time on the Aurelia. So far in the team fights, not able to do all too much. They did have that one gank early where he looked pretty good, but it's going to be down to, once we get towards the mid-game, whether or not he can get onto the likes of Kramer.
I feel like this has also come down to how the teams are playing, where we've seen LGD constantly trying to bring their strong members around the map. We saw Yuki walk to bot side. We saw their bot lane walk towards mid. But on the side of EDG, we've pretty much seen Audi sitting in his own lane, just constantly trying to get ahead of FunFun, not transferring that pressure around to the rest of his team.
Look how low on gold Scout is so far. 4th lowest in the entire game as a mid laner. It's a surprising statistic to see. But Killua not going to be deterred, consistently looking to make the play so far this game. Setting up vision on this bottom side of the map to try and pressure onto this tier 1. In the meantime, Scout will be answering towards the top side.
But look at LGD. All their members are moving towards mid. It's that coordination that you talked about. They're playing as a team, while Audi's left falling behind on the roam. But doesn't look like LGD are going to be able to find anything with... Ooh, actually, FunFun's heading back up.
Yeah, they're going to try and make a play on Scout here. Yuki just going to do a little bit of a trade, enough to deter the tower play. It still goes the way of Scout, though. The minions finish it off in the end. So Yuki not quite able to stop that one. Chains of Corruption goes down onto the likes of Mako. And Hope not going to be tethered by that one. Obviously, Cleanse would have still been on cooldown, but walks away. Now a play on towards the bottom side as well. Audi could be in trouble. Call of the Forge God gets the slow, gets the brittle. Won't get the knock-up, but Peanut does find a cocoon for himself. Audi, he's got the movement speed. He sprints away from that one.
FunFun channeling the call of the Forge God in a pretty awkward place where he wanted to keep walking forward but realized, oh god, it's going to come behind this wall. I need to walk back, and gave Audi the space to get out scot-free.
Here we go, though. Grand Starfall. Just to hit the caster minions. You know, sometimes you got to ult to clear the wave a little bit quicker. I could appreciate the tempo play with the ultimate there.
The thing I like about what LGD are doing is they're at least constantly trying to be the aggressors.
Yeah. No, I like it, especially comparatively to Game 1. Because Game 1, the reason they won was that they were reacting to the plays of EDG.
Yeah, they were very much just answering what EDG was doing very well. But this game, they've been completely dictating the pace of the game, and they've come out on top almost every time. You know, except that bot lane dive, which was a bit too aggressive. Everything after that has looked really, really well coordinated by LGD.
Scout going to finally get an opportunity to get onto the tier 1 in this top lane. We mentioned it. On this Aurelia pick can have a lot more side lane pressure. He's going to be able to split push, especially once he finishes that Blade of the Rune King. Should be able to get that on the next recall for himself. And you'll see him start to become a bit more of an issue for the side of LGD the longer that this game goes on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see once this dragon is up in 18 seconds, kind of how the team comps interact in these team fights where, again, if you're Scout, if you're Hope, you're going to try and get on top of Kramer, but Kramer does have some peeling options available with the Thresh, with the Ornn, but for Hope, if Yuki and Peanut get on top of you, there's really nothing you can do other than trying to, you know, ult to some other target.
Yeah, and that's often one of the things that really separates good from great Kaisers. You see some of the best in the world, the killer instincts in the fights. You don't necessarily expect where they're going to go, but they can absolutely change the face of a skirmish. On the other side of things, we also see some killer instincts coming on through. You see players flying to the backline and just getting one shot. We've seen a couple of times already this split in the LPL. We'll see which one Hope is going to be by the end of this game.
EDG just still opting to trade, knowing, hey, Yuki is very big on this Pantheon, especially. He's very far ahead of me. We talked about the Pantheon Elise combo being so strong in the earlier stages of the game. EDG wanting to get a few more items on top of Hope, on top of Scout, before really opting into these skirmishes, which is nice to see them slow down the pace when last game they were just constantly trying to butt heads with LGD.
Junja going to be the benefactor of this Rift Herald. We did see that Yuki was all the way down on the bottom side of the map, and it means that they're able to just force this play. The Grand Starfall, sorry. It is a semi-global ultimate, but you can't get all the way from bot to Baron that quick.
Nope, definitely not how that works. But still, the game just slowing down a bit for now. We don't have a Baron up. EDG are the ones with that Rift Herald, so we really need to keep an eye on where they're going to be able to find that pressure. We did talk about that so far it has been through Audi's lane, but it would be nice for them to be able to get that gold onto their Kai'Sa, onto their Irelia.
So we've had a bit of a slowdown, considering, what was it, like, I think 10 minutes into the game, we just had like 4 or 5 back-to-back skirmishes. It felt like kind of one unending skirmish. Both teams at 5 and 5, pretty much even gold, even towers, have basically said, all right, we'll press pause on this one. Neither of us is winning this one out. Let's just call it a day. We'll come back to fighting once Dragon spawns again.
It's pretty much been EDG, where we saw early in the game they were trying to contest for those heralds and walking into LGD. This time they're saying, hey, no, we're going to trade on the opposite side of the map. The better thing for EDG this game is we saw how far behind Hope fell last game. He finished his Rage Blade pretty much when Kramer had already 2.5 items. This game, he already has his Rage Blade before Kramer has even back for his.
Kramer will get the opportunity to recall shortly, and you'd expect that he'll be able to finish that one off for himself as well. In fact, I think he's going to recall now. Grab that. The question will be, in fact, no, the question's already answered. He's got his tier 2 boots already, and that's the difference that you're seeing in the gold right there. Because he does have those kills. He's going to grab a little bonus dagger as well. But also that cult that was finished off by Hope will help close the gap that the 1 extra kill achieved for the side of Kramer.
Right now, both teams just kind of pushing out their lanes, slowing down the pace of the game. We really want to see LGD try and make an aggressive pick with this Pantheon, move over towards the side lane as a unit, and find a kill. What would be nice would be if it's on top of someone like Scout who doesn't have something like a TP to follow up.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what the game plan is here for LGD, because slowing down this much when you have a Pantheon feels like kind of a controversial strategy, because Pantheon, especially in the late stages of the game, he'll fall off a cliff. Like, late game Pantheon does not do that much for you. So it feels like LGD should be trying to accelerate a little bit.
True. Something we would want to see out of LGD. Send Yuki to that side lane, have him push in with the safety of Elise, and then have him look for that ultimate on the mid lane where EDG side laners can't follow as quickly, since you, like you said, you do have that Grand Starfall.
And you mentioned having the safety of the Elise. Peanut going to be moving up towards the top side with him, getting ready for the Scuttle Crab. In the meantime, Kramer going to be farming away at Junjia's jungle. And then returning back to the mid lane. The lull state continues.
But as we said, the thing we want to keep our eye on is Yuki pushing out this top lane and trying to make his way mid and use that Grand Starfall. Same thing goes for EDG, having Scout push in that bot lane, then constantly roam, setting up picks, and really getting vision down for the Dragon.
All right, this could be the start of a play here. Herald comes down mid. The question will be, is there a contest from LGD? Peanut off on the side. Herald finishes off the turret. Will get taken out. And it looks like LGD not willing to force the issue right here. The Colonel starting to favor EDG. He's a big Hope fan, actually, the Colonel. I was chatting to him yesterday. Really likes the Kaiser pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Me and KFC go way back, dude. Colonel Sanders.
I don't know.
We served in World War I together.
I'm just saying, KFC back in the States, not as good as it is abroad.
No?
Nope, my opinion.
Do you want to know the best KFC internationally? And this is agreed upon by many, many people. Polish KFC.
Really?
Yeah, there's something about it, man. Like, I
Did
can't
try
even
it back
describe
at IM. Wish I did now.
You should have. You really should have. Because it's, I don't know why, but it's just better. It is just better.
LGD spent so much time trying to set up for a pick on top side. They just opt out of looking for this Dragon. And it feels like LGD are really letting their chances to kind of abuse their strong duo that they drafted just slip by.
Yeah. I mean, they did get a tier 2 in the top lane at least. So that's something picked up for them. Now Yuki probably going to move towards the bottom side of the map, you'd think, on the Pantheon. But then again, I mentioned it before, Grand Starfall, you can't get all the way from bot to Baron. Baron is now on the map. Yuki's not going to have teleport. So maybe he's not the best target to be moving to the bottom side of the map. Maybe you just start up the Baron.
Yeah, it looks like LGD are going to go for a sneaky one. Could be punished if EDG notice and Audi does come in with that TP, but as long as you're LGD and willing to back off.
They haven't got a clue. They have not got a clue this is going on with the lethality, with the Black Cleaver.
You know, the same thing happened against them in Game 3 against Rogue Warriors. This exact same thing.
And now you see Kramer moving up as well. This is going to be taken. It's only just been warded. Baron stolen away. Now the fight, though. Mako wants to punish them for this one. Call of the Forge God to try and disengage this one. Scout dodges the Chains of Corruption, gets straight onto the likes of Peanut, flashes away. Yuki the stun, but it's cleansed immediately. Hope onto the back line. This is going the way of EDG. Yuki flashes the wall. Scout looking for the 1v1, and he will get onto the Pantheon. The Spartan can't survive it. One more auto. Yuki's under the tower. Stun will come up soon. This is dangerous.
Oh.
Knock up onto Scout, and Yuki survives.
Scout is just not showing up the way we expected him, but still EDG getting a few picks in that skirmish, but LGD are the ones who come out with the Baron.
I don't know how things just went from 0 to 100 quite so quickly, but LGD get themselves a Baron and a 2-for-1 trade as well. Sure, the trade goes the way of EDG, but by 1 kill, not worth the Baron at all.
The silver lining on the side of LGD is it does feel like their scaling this game is just definitely better. But here we see the skirmishes, EDG jumping in, catching out Killua. We do see that Gargoyle Stoneplate coming in handy. Scout comes in, they're all just able to jump onto the carries of LGD. Both of these comps really struggle when they're the ones kind of walking backward. Both comps want to be the aggressors jumping in. But here we see the benefits of LGD Baron trying just to force down these structures.
And I feel like we really got to see a little glimmer of, no pun intended, a little glimmer of hope there on this Kaiser as he dashed into the back line, and quite often it's a risky play, right? And we've mentioned it earlier on today that you have good Kaisers and you have bad Kaisers. Hope looking good, though, in that fight and managing to get a good amount of damage down, not going so deep that he ends up killing himself.
Yeah, I'm looking at Hope. He is going towards that Nashor's Tooth now. This build with the Mirror Mana and the Ginsu's, of course, kind of standard Kai'Sa these days. Very good with the Ghost hit coming out from Ginsu's, doubling up your on-hit damage every 3, so...
All of the Forge God. It's
Speaking
onto
of
Hope. Oh, the cleanse
Ooh.
on the Death Sentence. Blaze going to keep him in the fight, though. Hope surely goes, no! Killer Instinct! Yuki went way too deep. Now Peanut gets a cocoon on top of it. Junjia has a stopwatch. Kramer's tanking right now. Needs to back away. Death Sentence, though, is magnificent. The answer from Hope. He's still doing a lot of damage on this Kai'Sa.
We talked about that it does look like EDG's comp just definitely comes out in terms of scaling this time around. The Kai'Sa's going to be huge. Irelia is going to be much bigger than this Pantheon. Grog is going to have a lot more modes available to him than the Elise. So we're seeing the benefits of that, but kind of going back and touching on it, because we haven't gotten really a chance to talk about it, is EDG once again giving up a Baron. When we talked about this happened against Rogue Warriors, we saw in Game 2 against RNG, where RNG started a push on the bot lane. EDG were just way too late to react, and this has been probably EDG's biggest problem this split, is they give up so many objectives without even considering the possibility that it's happening.
Yeah, they just seem unaware of the fact that their opponent can go for something like that. And now, 40 seconds until this Ocean Drake will appear on the map, and you can see EDG already starting to move down towards this bottom side. Funfun is on the top side of the map and has no TP.
EDG just going to be able to get on top of Yuki, and like you talked about, LGD aren't going to be able to respond. Funfun's not close enough.
Yuki blocks a bit of damage, but I don't know. Peanut arriving. Maybe he can save his mid laner here.
Ooh.
Showstopper's actually going to pull Yuki away, but finishes the kill. Hope arrives. Killua is not going to be able to get away from this one. Another kill for Hope. He had 700 gold of his bounty before that fight. It's going to be going up even more.
This AP damage is so strong. Again, hitting really hard with those plasma stacks. W also going to do a ton of damage, so we just see EDG really coming together in these team fights, and LGD overstepping.
All of the Forge God. Some kind of answer needs to be found from the side of LGD. Funfun misses his ult, though.
That was really confusing, though, that he even channeled the call of the Forge God. Didn't look like they had the wave to push at that point anyway on the side of EDG.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But just towers galore, dragons galore. It's going to be sore point now for EDG as they have 2 oceans as well. Means that sieging up is going to be even nicer for them with that extra regen. But we mentioned it before, Scout, more than happy not to be a part of these plays. More than happy on this Aurelia to just be elsewhere on the map, split pushing.
Scout just trying to overload as much gold onto himself as possible to really have a big impact in these later skirmishes. Looks like you just said, he's not even really needed. Hope is just so big at this point, and we've really seen LGD struggle since the mid game with transitioning this comp.
Mako going to be targeted here. In goes Yuki, but he's 1v3 to start things off. Showstopper, but the Aegis Assault keeps him alive. There's a pullback. What a pull from Mako. Capitalizes with a kill. Now onto the likes of Killua as well. Funfun can't escape. Mako traded at least, but Pino goes down. Kramer goes down. Double kill for Hope. What a team fight coming out from EDG. The coordination is magnificent.
Great team fight coming out of EDG, but on the side of LGD, it's like game 1, but in reverse. We see LGD being the aggressors of these fights. Yuki going in way too far by himself, ends up getting deleted instantly, and Peanut just...
I mean, sure.
Well, you got to get something.
I mean,
what's he going to do if he sits mid, right?
That's true. He can't defend mid, so why not? At least he gets a tier 2. You can't complain too much about that one.
I don't think you can complain at all. He made the right call. He wouldn't have been able to protect that inhibitor turret regardless, but EDG have so much damage on this Baron with the Kai'Sa, and that's where they're looking.
Yeah, they're going to move straight over towards the Baron. It's just respawn. Perfect timing for them. Grand Starfall on cooldown. Peanut only just recalled. With the plasma coming out from Hope as well, you'd expect this is just going to go down with 0 contest. Hope finishes it off. Yuki just looking for a pickup off the back of this fight, but Hope's not recalled. Nobody's recalled. Yuki has found himself alone. Aegis Assault keeps him alive. Hook now onto Audi, but he's got a stopwatch. Funfun looks for the knockup, doesn't get it though. He's punished for that one. Haymaker as the Lantern pulls him back out. Hope, does manage to get the auto in. And we said there are good Kaisers and there are great Kaisers. Hope looking phenomenal.
Very pristine play with him having so much confidence to jump in on the end of that.
8-0-4 right now on the Kaiser as well. He's already got his Zhonyas. He's 4 items deep in this game. Dragon going to be spawning in 2 minutes. They've got 2 minutes of Baron to work with as well. Everything is going the way of EDG.
Just great play as a whole coming in from them. Also looking over towards Scout's build. He did go for the Black Cleaver into the GA. So just all about durability coming out for him, making sure. If you look at LGD's comp, especially with the Pantheon Elise, it really is about bursting you down in one combo. If that one combo doesn't take you down, Kramer really is the only damage threat left.
He is one hell of a damage threat. Oh, this is not ideal for EDG. Junjia just way overextending right there. Gets caught out in a death brush. Nice heads-up play from LGD to try and even the board a little bit. Look at this massive minion wave bot.
It was a bit of a sneaky play coming out from LGD. EDG, Junjia knowing, hey, I've pushed in the bot side. My players in mid already rotating down. There's no way LGD would risk being here, but LGD know, hey, they're not there yet. We can burst him down fast enough. And
that's the second time this game that LGD have said, EDG won't expect this. They did it with the Baron, they do it with a little brush bait. But those kind of plays against the Baron buff is how you stall out the game. It's how you stop them finding more objectives.
Especially when you talk about how you find your ways into a game from behind, it is really all about these cheeky creative plays that you can set up on the map.
Speaking of which, Peanut is going to be caught out. Has his Zhonyas. Repel comes up and there's a ward. Very nicely done. Mako has used his stone plate already. He's going to be knocked up and finished off very early on in the fight. Scout goes down. Audi now trying to get stuns across the team. Hope still alive, still free firing, and plasma stacked everywhere. Should be able to clean this one up right now. Killer Instinct on cooldown though, so he can't keep following. 2 kills go the way of EDG.
And that was a 4v5 that EDG ended up winning. It's like we talked about. Once Kramer goes down, you just don't have any more DPS on the side of LGD.
Can they just force the end of the game right here? They've got 4 minions to work with. It's time to play Protect the President. In comes Yuki. Aegis Assault keeps him alive for now, but not for long. Another kill goes to Hope. 10-0-5 on the Kaiser. With that kill in the bag, this game is going to be in the bag. EDG look phenomenal. Hope looks incredible. And we're going to game number 3. We're going the full way in the first best of 3 of today. No answer from LGD, and it's a game for Edward.